Should be live. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. We're about 20 minutes late. You can blame Lunchtime with Anna for that. I was caught up in meetings this morning. And of course, we're running a little bit late. But I wanted to announce, look, We See You Human Justice Organization will be having an event on October 22nd, 2022. The time and the place is to be announced. This event I hold clear to my heart and dear to my heart. It's a domestic violence event. If you are in the Cobb County area in Georgia, please make it your business to put it in your calendar to come down on 10/22. We're even planning on having gospel singer Canton Jones there, and hopefully all things will work out. Christy will be there from Louisiana. I will be in town from Florida, and we will have every single person who helps you with our organization. We will have them in town for particular. So make sure y'all make it there. Again, it's recognizing domestic violence survivors or people who might want to get away and don't know how to get away. Right after that event on January, we will be having a human trafficking event. We hold these things close and dear to our heart. And aside from helping all the people that we help, we also help with those causes as well. And we try to do for the community in that sense. And that's kind of something the girls voted on, or the organization voted on their time. And that's what events they want to hold across the year. Of course, we will be involved with anything else that you guys need us to be involved with, but those will be the two that we are leading. I have a very special guy. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because I'm a domestic violence survivor myself.
Yes.
So I think do you guys have any special like programs for men? Because I think men, in like a weird situation when it comes to domestic violence, because if you complain that a woman is putting her hands on you, it's it's laughed at, right? To the point where you get ready to knock her head off, and because there's only a certain limit that you can. And a lot of, not a lot, but there are cases where, men have been dealing with domestic violence and it kind of just gets laughed or swept under the rug
Okay. So no, you're absolutely right. And I'm going to tell you, Christy knows, and everybody who follows Lunchtime with Anna and follows anything that I ever say about domestic violence. There are some women out there that are more abusive than the men that we deal with domestic violence. That is a true story, and it's a true fact. The thing is that most men are embarrassed to speak up because they think people are gonna down them for them saying, look, that really happened to me. Such as when a woman talks about, I was really abused sexually. They're like, how does that happen? You're in a relationship. Well, yes, it can happen. And yes, it does happen. You know what I'm saying? So for me, we are actually having, and I think it would be very powerful if you're able to make it south on that date, 10/22. It's the day before my birthday, and that date would be the best day.
The day after my daughter's birthday too. I got it.
Really?
We have to do something. Oh my
God. Yes. Because Christy's 10/17. We're all October babies. So but what we can do is I can go ahead, if you like, I can put you as one of the guest speakers, because I think it needs to be said from both perspectives, right? And we will have different organizations there that do help out. This is not just a woman thing. This is not just a children thing. This is day to day. It really happens. I've seen some women that are more abusive, like I said, than men. I've seen it with my own two eyes, and it does exist. So if you like to, I'd be happy, huh?
And the mindset, you know what I'm saying? Like I've learned from experience that abuse is not necessarily, it doesn't just end. Like, because we've been physically separated for years, but the abuse is still going on. You know what I'm saying? There's a mentality, whereas you're going to do what I want you to do or else.
Or else.
Force, you know, I'm gonna put this, so if you're within my hands, then I'm going to put these hands on you. But if you're not, then I'll use whatever tactics, techniques, connections, networks, whatever I can to put that same type of force on you. So I definitely would love this.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is there a reason why you think she still does that? Do you think it's just your, you know, and I like to ask, right? So, Dr. Inky, I will tell you, I am a domestic violence survivor. Christy is a domestic violence survivor. You're a domestic violence survivor. It's real, it's true, and I almost lost my life. I was in a coma. So I just thank God that all of you guys can even see me.
Wow.
Yes.
But definitely had some ugly moments. You know what I'm saying?
Mine was to the point to where I had a gun. I was pregnant with my daughter, and he had put a gun to my stomach, and he told me that he would kill me, the baby, and himself. And by the time anybody would reach me, we would all be dead. And at that moment, I had to come into a realization of, okay, I didn't save me and my child. So
let me tell you, I was so hip hopped up in my mind with songs like Me and My B, and you know, like I Needed Gangsta B, and you know, from Apache. I don't know if people go back that far, but I should have took, you know, like because I have a situation where she pulled the gun on me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like this is early on, very early on, and I should have took that as the red flag to get out of there. But from the universe that I'm from, and it's it's so, you know, abuse and violence is such a regular part of the fabric of where I'm from that that just like it just wasn't, it didn't come across as the red flag that it needed to,
that it should have been
until years later, when literally this blood, when my shirt's covered in blood, at that point it's like, oh, you might want to get up out of here. Like this woman, she's not playing. She's going to keep trying until she does kill you. She's not joking. This is not like, stop taking this for a joke. You know what I'm saying? She's going to get you up out of here. So that's crazy that without us even knowing, like, we had something in common. We just kind of,
absolutely have connections, right? And I think sometimes some of the people that I've met along the way, men and women, those are the people I connect with the most, because there's an unspoken understanding and an unspoken respect for one another to say, you need to say no more. I understand. People think it's, oh, but what was she going to do? She's a woman. You're stronger than her. She had a gun. Well, she could have done a lot. Right. She could have ended your life.
2 guns pointed at you in that scenario, especially as a.
Was that the Puerto Rican girl you dated?
Was
that the Puerto Rican?
No.
Okay. No. I was gonna say, we're not that crazy.
But wait, I do have some crazy stories about her as well, though. You know what I'm saying? But she never became like super abusive towards me, but she was a special, individual. Like, when I finally broke up with her, she tried to kill herself and cut her wrist, and then like tattooed my name on top of the scars.
Well, by nature, overall, the Hispanic culture, right? We genuinely, when we fall for somebody, men or women, that's why there's a lot of passionate killing. You should know that from the Caribbean, right? We fall deep. I don't know that I would ever do that tattoo over a scar, but I could. My Lord. Go ahead.
The first domestic violence I experienced wasn't my own. I was probably maybe 3 years old, and I watched a Puerto Rican couple downtown in Jefferson Projects, a man stabbed his wife out there like 20 something times, like right outside in front of everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was like early, you know, so.
So
Yeah.
if I may ask, right? He's Dr. Inky, but I'm Lunchtime with Ana, and everybody likes to talk to me, and they just feel like they could tell me their whole life, right? So let me ask you a question. What do you think it has been for you, right? That has, because I was in one relationship like that. After that, I was like, oh, I even see something that looks like it, like it's gonna look like it's gonna about to look like.
Like, yeah,
we're not doing this.
Man, I'm out of there. I'm the running man. I'm like, oh wait, if I even think that we're getting ready to go down that road, I don't even care. Like, I've had relationships where girls like have stolen, and you know, they'll steal like stuff, electronics, money.
Thank you, Marcus.
I don't even care. I just be like, okay, well, that was her parting gift. Like, that's, you know, that was her parting gift. You just go back, because I know that from that experience, sometimes trying to reconcile or sometimes trying to continue or keep something going, or no matter what it is, oh, for the children, blah. Nah. The best thing you can do for those children is get out of there. Get out of there. Get those babies out of there, because sometimes the energy that they have for you will be transferred to the child. Sometimes not directly, but indirectly. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, especially if the child looks like you, you know, they won't even know it. It'll be a subconscious thing. You know what I'm saying? And then the child may have adopted mannerisms that are yours that may remind that parent of you. And, you know, it could become weird.
False issues. Yeah. So, and for you, that's, what do you think it is that attracts those type of women? You know, because you said you've seen behaviors. One was physically, right? But the other one more was self-inflicting. What do you think? Do you think it's maybe something nurturing within you? Do you think it's something you psychologically look for in a woman that maybe, I don't know.
I think definitely I've had to change me. And then, you know, continue to, as I change, what I'm attracted to changes, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Again, a lot of the hip hop Black identity, like a lot of the things that I'm challenging people on now, you know what I'm saying? Like this whole Black idea, you know what I'm saying? What does that mean to be Black? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? And why do we have these preconceived ideas that we should only date within the race, or we should only do business within our group, or we should only, you know, stick in these certain places where we may not be appreciated? You know what I'm saying? Like, life's too short for that. We should go wherever we're appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Like, if tomorrow I wake up and Chinese people are saying, listen, we see your genius with what you've been able to do with diabetes, and we want to support that to the fullest and make sure that you're surrounded with support so you don't have to be stressed and worry about keeping your lights on and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to tell the Black folks in that afternoon, I'm going to be like, listen, it's been nice, but guess what? Yeah, these Chinese folks over here. So you guys had your shot. You know, you didn't support, and I'm not going to be mad with you guys for not supporting, but I'm just going to go with the supporters. You know what I'm saying? Or if there's a purple group that pops up tomorrow and says, hey, we love what you're doing, we want to support it, I'm there. Because or in relationship wise, you know what I'm saying? If I find a white woman, purple woman, brown woman, fluorescent green woman that is just wants to be supportive and hold it down, then that's what it is. Because life is too short to have all these other ideas clouding your judgment and probably blocking your blessings.
And that makes perfect sense. Let me tell you one thing. When I tell people, what does a Puerto Rican look like? You can look as white as paper, and people actually think that you're white, and then you whoop out that Spanish and you'll be like, what? Or they can be anywhere from that to Oriental looking, to looking like me, everything in between, and to where you think they're just a black person. That's what they call Afro Latinos.
Yep.
You know, and we as people, we're who we are, and we're accepting of all of it because that's our culture. But see, I think that's harder for people to understand out here in the United States. I think it's harder for people to accept. Now, if I individually feel, okay, well, I'd rather be with a person of my color or darker, that's my choice. But I don't need to announce it, is the way I look at it. A lot of people do make those announcements like Christy. You'll never know what is Christy's type. You'll never know what my type is. Do you guys ever see me say, oh, I type this? And I think that's what it has to do with, Dr. Inky. I think people are forgetting that. And I think social media has made people very egotistical and narcissists in that sense. And there's nothing we could do. We can just accept them for who they are, but, you know, and do as they please or whatever. So,
you know,
just my opinion.
And I take social media as a set of wishes. I think social media, people present themselves as they wish they really were, you know,
Yes.
as opposed to who they actually are. I'm sorry, Sheila, go ahead.
I agree.
No, you're fine. I was about to say that, you know, it's funny when you talk about social media, I call it the fairy tale land. Because everything on Facebook is not true. I don't know why people be, a lot of people pretend just for clout. You know, they pretend to be this happy, loving couple when all actuality, the woman is really being physically abused on that.
Or sexually abused. That's right.
Or sexually abused. Or you may have a model that is beautiful on the outside and she's modeling these clothes, but on the inside, she tore up from the floor up and think about committing suicide the very next day. So I feel like social media gives us a false sense. And also it's a false sense of beauty. Because if you go back centuries, beauty was the big girls, the PHAT, what I call them fat, pretty hot and tempting was the beauty. The wider your waist are, the more beautiful you were. Even if you go looking at the kings and queens back in the back before, that was considered like if you were skinny, they thought you were sick, they thought something was wrong with you, and people would stay away from you.
It's a word that I try to put back into circulation, but I noticed that, you know, they kind of got this word out of circulation, and I like to use that word because I think it more accurately describes, you know, what, you know, like BBW is such a big general subject that it doesn't.
You know about really BBW, boy?
Well, I'll say this. I don't think that BBW accurately describes the beautiful women from yesteryear, because they're even with the larger women, there was still a specific type of shape that they were looking for. And the word that I'm talking about is voluptuous. So we took away the word voluptuous from popular use, and then it just, you know, it got real different. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think that it was more of a shape than a size. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be, you know, you could have your womanly curves and be a smaller person, or you could also have them as a larger woman. And as long as you had the womanly curves, that was what was important more than you fitting into a certain dress size or a certain space. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've been criticized. Being a health teacher, I've had some public relationships with voluptuous plus size women, and I've taken a lot of heat for that. You know what I'm saying? When people are like, are you with such and such and such and such? And look at how big that she at least 200, 250 pounds or 300 pounds or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Rico tripping. That's because, my buddy.
One of them, she used to date like 50 Cent, and she had, you know, she's had some high profile exes. You know, I'm now an ex as well, but she had some other high profile.
How good is it to be in the category with 50 Cent as an ex? Like, I mean, like, hey, the bar gets set so high. You know what I'm saying? That's like if if Tupac was my ex, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of high up there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's crazy too because you're like, wait a minute.
Lord have mercy.
That's like me dating Jay-Z and say that Beyonce was his ex and now I'm his ex. Like, I'm in the lines of Beyonce. Like, really?
Yes. You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
I'm 25 cents. And you know what's funny? It might not even hit the same if we weren't like if I wasn't such a 50 Cent fanatic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this is a like I don't, you know, I stay in tune with my children, you know what I'm saying? So we share certain, you know what I'm saying? So this is a LeBron household, you know what I'm saying? All things LeBron, we love. All things Kanye, Drake, you know, all things 50, you know what I'm saying? So I buy all his books and you know, read his books when they hit, you know what I'm saying? I think that unfortunately we judge 50 more by like the power shows and stuff like that instead of the books, you know what I'm saying? But people should get into those books. That's a whole nother, that's more like Curtis Jackson, I guess, you know what I'm saying, with the books, you know what I'm saying?
So, but you know, one thing I can respect about 50 Cent though is that he changed the dynamic of what an entrepreneur or a rapper is. You know, he changed that whole scenario of being more than a bad boy, being more than a rapper of the streets. He became an entrepreneur. He's very educated. I mean, if you ever talk to him, he has a lot more than just his rap music, you understand? And I think he brought that on because other people after him started following that. Like, let me use my money not to buy all these chains and these cars, but let me invest in my community and invest in different products.
Yeah.
To become even more wealthier.
Yeah.
So let me tell you my opinion on him when it comes to Fitty. I'm not a fan. You know, it's just like Mayweather. I'm just not a fan. There's just certain personalities that don't rub off very well with me. It's not to say you're not a genius at what you do. I'm not taking that from any of them. Just you don't strike me as a good person. You can be cocky because you know you're the world's greatest fighter, and I know I got Jamil on the line, and I know Jamil's not going to agree with me, but you can be the world's greatest fighter and be cocky, but it's just other things you do that just make you just not a good person. And those type of personalities, they don't rub off well with me because when you're a person who carries light, that other type of personality is not going to work with you. So it's not to say, and for me, 50, so I'll say it like that. When you make fun of a disabled community, right, and say like it wasn't anything. I have a special needs son who is autistic, and it didn't rub off well with me or many other families. And for who does remember, y'all do remember. And if you don't, look it up. It's all over the internet. So
I seen it, and I got special needs and autistic nieces and nephews, and you know, family as well. The only thing is with I understand people pimping the marketplace. You know what I'm saying? So certain people, when I see that you have another side that you present in your private side, I'll weigh the private side a little bit more heavily than I will what you do on social media, because I get that social media is the slum of mental universes. Like social media is the slum. So if you put, like, for instance, right now, we're trying to get people to send money, $ Minister Inky, to support what we're doing with diabetes. We're trying to get people to join the Patreon to support what we're doing with diabetes. But the support is very slow. We like, hey, we need money to grease the. Now, when I go on there with some controversial and, I'm exposing this guy, or, then
with the drama, with the
20,000
like
views.
Call it. Let me give you that the clean version, the crack.
Yeah, 20,000 hits. I can put 20,000 people in front of the screen to talk reckless and greasy about somebody else. But I'm talking about healing somebody that may have had 3 weeks to live. We might get 100, 200, we'll get a couple hundred views at best. Out of those couple hundred views, we may only get 10, 20 people support, you know what I'm saying? And so
absolutely.
So I'll look at, for instance, 50 social media. I'll take that with a grain of salt because I noticed that he's cyclic with it. He usually says something absolutely over the top and completely
outrageous,
impulsive right before a product release or a new show.
That's true.
But on the flip side, he has these self-help books. He's got this motivational speaking thing. He put a lot of his money back into like going back into learning your African roots and your history and some of those other things. So I'm like, off camera, this is, so I got to go. The crazy stuff online is supporting real initiatives offline. Whereas there are other guys that there is no other. It's when they're off social media, they're just the same person, but not being recorded. You know what I'm saying? Like there is nothing that they're doing with the money besides flashing it and showing you, look, I just got this watch. I just got this car. And I'm like, bro, I would prefer to see a school you've purchased. I'd prefer to see a daycare. Floss on me that way. I want to see.
I love that. I love that.
Like that. Stand in front of the building you just purchased, and you put,
you're helping with the community.
So like, don't just tell me you got a building that you're making more money. Like, so you got a building and you're making more money. Like, okay, fine, that's great, but what does that mean in terms of the community? That means nothing. You know what I'm saying? And guys are coming around saying, "Oh, well, just me telling you how rich I'm getting is philanthropy." Because I'm like, wait, what? Like, who raised these things? So people got to get back into the mode of understanding that money isn't the success; it's what you do with your money that means, that makes you more impactful. We got this guy in my neighborhood, and I refer to him from time to time just for example. Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter, he looked like he kind of might have had some alcohol issues, maybe. We don't know, you know what I'm saying? He was a kind of a shabby, dresser. He could put it on and get fresh when he needed to, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? But he wasn't he was a family man. He had kids in the neighborhood. And when he had extra money, he spent his extra money taking us to baseball games and trying to get us into basketball programs and stuff like that. Kids that he didn't, we're not his kids, you know what I'm saying? But he was like a neighborhood father for a lot of us who was caught, was out there in the street one way or another. You know what I'm saying? So that guy that nobody around the world will ever hear of is way more successful in my eyes than somebody with a bazillion dollars that's just saying, hey, look at me, I got a bazillion dollars. It's like, bro, that bazillion dollars is a bazillion pieces of potential for you to impact people, not wave it around and say, look what I've done. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of you can single-handedly change the world and you're not doing it. Like you look like a buffoon. You know what I'm saying? So I try to gauge people, what they do in their real world life and buffer that against what we see on social media. Because again, it's fake. Social media is fake. We don't, we have to just keep in mind that it's fake. We don't know if you really mean those insults, or if you just sense are you ignorant right now? Are you using that as a gimmick, or what? Like, what are you? It's so hard to figure out what people are doing nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
absolutely. I love your mind on that, right? Because I absolutely agree with you. So many times, you see the drama, and what are people going to do as soon as they see the drama? You're going to look at every single comment and click on every single.
You're going to share it to everybody.
Message it to your friends.
Yo, this is crazy. Yo, jump on this, share this. Yo, make sure everybody see this. On the flip side, Inky just posted something where he had a stage 4 cancer lady, and now she's, this is 3
absolutely.
3 likes, 3 shares.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's exactly how it is too. And it seems like that even with my shows. Like I'm telling you, like it can be a crazy topic and they love it. Before anything, I'd like to give a shout out to Alinda Har. Alinda is my co-worker on my 9 to 5, guys. I do work a 9 to 5. So that is my co-worker. Show her love. Shout out to Alinda.
Peace, Alinda. Shout out to you.
Yes.
I absolutely agree with you, Rico. And just to let you guys know who Rico Trax is, he has done some music for some big names. I'm not going to put them all out there. He can put them out there if he'd like. That is my buddy. We will be collaborating a lot of things together here very soon. So I'm really excited about it. But yes. And you're absolutely right. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say to Rico, he's 1,000% right with that because, you know, a lot of most of the people that are in the quote unquote street life and gang banging and trying to, you know, present themselves as hustlers and this and that, they don't understand that the people that they may idolize had different ideals than what these guys have today. And I know that because, you know, reluctantly, you know, my dad was a part of those 70s heroin, you know, those 70s and 80s heroin moving, you know, the Nicky Bonds and Guy Fishers and, you know, all those people. My dad was in, you know, so, and I was in those spaces, you know what I'm saying? Because my dad had me around all the time in that kind of environment. So a lot of that contributed to me, you know, going in a different direction and trying to really, you know, provide a different type of example. But I think that even that line of communication has got broken because people that were outside of those circles, the only thing they saw from those gentlemen was the fur coats and the cars, etc. They didn't really understand what they were trying to do in terms of, you know, create a different way for the people to come behind them in the community. Whereas now, any excess money, we've been culturally trained to throw on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So even that concept, I try to put out another concept. Like when they was talking about making it rain, I was like, no. We need to make it evaporate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody needs to be.
I like that. Making it evaporate.
Yeah. I got into like in a fight in the club with the bouncers one time. I'm in there with one of my, you know, with my people. And, you know, they throwing money, woo, woo, and I'm picking it up off the floor. Like, nah, y'all not taking advantage of my guys. They drunk. They don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm picking it. So the bouncer's like, nah, you can't pick. Once it hit the floor, once it go in the air, it belongs to the girls. I'm like, I mean, what the law say possession 9 cents of the law. And
that's right.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it just, certain concepts is just insanity, and we need to have the mirror put up in front of us so we can see how insane it is. Like if you're going to go out there and you're killing your people and you're risking your own life, you know, being lost or being incarcerated for life, why would you do that and then take the money that you got and throw it onto the floor?
Absolutely.
I'm Absolutely. Like, what? You just did what to do what? Like, so you're risking your life, you're taking lives, you're setting a genocidal example, and all of that death, you're going to take the money and throw it on the ground. I said, oh my goodness, I know these niggas are insane. This is just insanity. And that kind of furthered my research with like diet and how to body.
So on to we'll move on now to what the topic is about right today. Right, so do you think that the diet has a lot to do with making it rain?
Yes.
I knew you were going to say that
because we don't realize that every single thing that we do is based on our biochemistry and neurochemistry.
Absolutely.
Every we say, every thought, our consciousness, our ability to learn, memorize, and articulate are all based on our body's internal chemical dialogues. You know what I'm saying? So there's an internal chemical dialogue that's happening with all your cells and tissues at all times. That's going to tell you, yes, go and rape that little girl. Yes. Go stick your hand in that man's pocket and grab his money. Yes. Go drive your car, even though you know you damn near too drunk to stand up straight, right? I think I can, give me my damn keys. I know how to do, like, that's
I got this.
all
Yes.
happening in your mind. There's a biochemical space where that's all happening. That's why they say drugs impair your thinking, because drugs impair your neurochemistry. And once your neurochemistry is impaired, now your judgments and your decision making is impaired. That can happen with any substance, not just an alcohol or crack,
absolutely.
this, that, and
yes. Yes.
Sugar is like way more addictive than cocaine, and it's more likely to be your cause of death than cocaine. And sugar is all over the place. Like, so it's so many different things that we don't realize that our diet literally affects. And
so I want to tell you something, Dr. Inky. You know, Anna's a reader, avid reader. As you know, Christy is too. If you didn't know, you see she's on the computer now. She's always into something. She's like me, okay? So after our interview, I did my own research, right? So Lunchtime with Anna was like, let me see if what he's talking about, let me just pick little things he said. The cells, this, that. Is what he's saying true? Now, guys, anybody listening, do it yourself. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to Christy. Read for yourself. Or if you don't like to read, watch a video for yourself. There's many ways to get the information out there today.
I clearly don't know what I'm talking about, because I have in gold teeth and I have on earrings. So that totally rules me out from being intelligent.
I thought we're black.
Listen, that's how people do. They discredit me right off. How can he be a doctor? Ain't no doctor wearing no gold teeth. Come on now, get this fraud. This is fake. This guy can't know. It's all right.
But you do.
I would have said that too, though.
Hey,
and that's just it. You do. And that's exactly my point.
Google gives you access to every single encyclopedia and reference book on within seconds. So all anybody has to do is type in melanin concentrating hormone, insulin, or melanin concentrating hormone, and hunger, or just start going crazy with the paper and just research any random pieces up, and the wealth of information that will start to come out. And that's kind of what we're doing. To segue, we're doing like a 6-week, every Saturday, we're going to be doing a diabetes clinic and workshop the whole day, Saturdays, on my Patreon page. So people can tap in patreon.com/.
You heard that? If Dr. Dre can do it, so can Dr. Inky.
No, you know what's funny? What's funny is I have a story about Dr. Dre, and actually, it's an unfortunate story, so I'm not going to share. But not Dr. Dre from the West Coast, like Dr. Dre, Ed Lover and Dr. Dre.
Oh, okay, Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. Yes. We'll hear it, because you're gonna be here. You're gonna be here all the time. You're gonna be here all the time.
Tell you stories. Yeah.
We'll hear. So
I thought it makes sense, because like when Anna was saying, because I know I researched it, and everyone know I have a journey to weight loss. So, and I promise you guys, I'm going to share some pictures. I'm going to share my story, because that's one thing I want to do. But in the process, I'm really just working on me right now. But I took some things that you said and I applied it, especially with the protein. Yeah. You were saying that the protein can come as fat because like in my mind is protein. And I wasn't exercising as much as I should. And I was gaining a couple of pounds here and there. And I'm like, how am I gaining? And I'm not eating any fat content. I'm not eating that many carbs. So when you started saying that, I said, okay, get your butt up, go work out. Anna, due to me being a part of her organization, had paid for us a Fit On app and our gym membership. So I said, let me get up and work out and sweat. Well, I done lost weight the all the pounds that I gained, I lost. I'm a person. Not only do I read, I also say, well, let me put into practice what he said so I can make sure it's true. And if it's not, what have I lost but energy and time? It ain't gonna hurt me.
Listen, I want to thank you because you still got to participate and go through the steps. But I just want to go back to what I was saying a few minutes ago about it's not about how much money you got, but what you do with your money. So look what you just said. So because Ana is providing us with the gym apps and the memberships, whatever. How you got a 9 to 5, nigga? You still in the rat race with the rest of us. But what you're getting people out of prison, you're getting people rights, you're getting people gym memberships. You do so again. How is it that with your limited, you 9 to 5 and you're having a much larger impact in the community than these guys that's being celebrated as 100 millionaires and going into billionaire? Like, to me, they all just look goofy. Because the more money you have and you haven't done anything in the community, you just look more and more goofy. You don't look more and more inspirational, more and more goofy. I'm inspired by the people doing more with less than the people who are doing less with more. It's insanity to think otherwise to me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my bad. We back to health world. I just
because it has to come a point that we care about our society. We have to care about our communities that we're in. Like, I'm here in Louisiana. Our community might be suffering from something that your community is not suffering, but we have to come together as a community to fight what? Diabetes, glaucoma, aneurysms, strokes, heart attacks, high blood pressure.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait, you know what y'all got to fight in Louisiana? I went to Louisiana.
That yummy food? I know.
Hold on. I got to take my glasses off this. We had just did a documentary called Urban Kryptonite. It was me. I don't know if people know Jehudi Ma'atraj from the West Coast, and Dr. B and a couple Abundance Child, a couple other folks. And we were on tour supporting the documentary, and it's a full documentary, blah, blah, blah. But we go to New Orleans. And when we get to New Orleans, I'm out there looking around because everywhere I go, I'm trying to connect with the people and see why whatever going on is going on. So at the time, I don't know today's statistics, but at the time, New Orleans was ground zero for cancer in the urban community. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, well, I'm sure they can't be doing much different than the surrounding southern states, like everybody out here with the barbecue. But let me try to figure out what's happening here. So we get there, it's late at night. Everything is kind of closed, and we don't really know where is what. We just know people get killed in New Orleans a lot. So we like, if we wait till the morning before we start venturing around.
Back out, yeah.
So we saw a little gas station. So we like, okay, yeah, snack run. We all go into the store together. You know what I'm saying? So we all go to the store, and we get in the store, and immediately I see the most crazy, barbaric thing that I had ever seen anywhere. There was a pile of jars from the floor up to my height, and I'm 6 feet tall even. A 6 foot tall pile of jars, and every jar had a pig mouth in it.
Oh, pork.
But literally jars of pig faces and mouth. And I asked, I was like, what the, I asked the guy behind the counter, I said, what is this? He said, oh, this is the #1 selling snack that we got. People buy more of this than ice cream, potato chips, anything.
That's not all Louisiana though.
Wait, I thought that was insane. So then the next day, when we start moving around, we go to a barbershop. They have the same cars in the barbershop. I'm like, wait a minute. So this is a real thing.
You may be right, Rico.
I'm like, so wait, this is a thing down here? He was like, oh yeah, we love that. Put a little hot sauce on there. Like, that's the babies, the kids love that. I said, this is why this is ground zero for cancer. They're eating raw pork down here. They're eating raw pickled pork out of the jar. I said, this goes beyond fried bacon. This goes beyond. I said, this is raw pickled pork. And when I grew up, I never was a person that ate a lot of pork. You know what I'm saying? I was always repulsed, like to vomit, gag reflex by chitlins, even though my family made it. So I never ate chitlins ever. But absolutely. I did have ham on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? I definitely had me some ham and cheese sandwiches.
Yes,
I definitely had me some bacon. You know what I'm saying? And so I had my older uncles and cousins coming with the knowledge of self and all that. You know, they coming out of jail with all this shit. You know, Elijah Muhammad said this, that, and the other. I'm like, listen, got you. You know what I'm saying?
I still like my pork. Yeah.
I'm from, you know, empty refrigerators, mayonnaise sandwich, ketchup sandwich. So I'm like, listen, whatever's hot, and you know, I'm on, you know. But later on, when I had the chance, I want to say when I was maybe in my teenage years, my dad had got like a house in the Carolinas, and we went down there for vacation, and the next door neighbor was a pig farmer. That vacation cleared all confusion for me. I got to watch the pigs and see how the pigs lived for real. This wasn't a story out of no book. This wasn't about no weird science, no big brain science. Like, this was a real thing. I got to really watch the pigs eat feces, vomit, eat the vomit, sleep in the vomit, wake up and do it again. Pigs eat feces and vomit all day. So there is no possible way that that animal could be fit for human consumption in any shape, form, or fashion. This is beyond any like vegan whatever, because I'm only vegan because vegan works best. The moment that we find out that vegan is not the best way, then I'll be the first one to reincorporate eating whatever, because I'm not about saving the animals. I'm about saving the us. You know what I'm saying?
saving your life. Yes.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm vegan because vegan is best, not because like the PETA group. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the large group of vegans. They're vegan to save animals, but they still promote sickness in people, because a lot of the foods they promote to eat aren't necessarily healthy. They're just non-animal. So they'll rather you eat paint, you know, like eat cardboard and drink paint than harm the animals. And I'm like, I'm kind of with you, but no, that's not the program. I want to eat the best thing for whatever. But when I got to see how those pigs really live, it was just a game changer. I was like, yeah, this is not the same as, we're not even having a beef. Like, cows are eating grass. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not this thing here. This is another whole unique animal that is not for consumption. This is not. We're not supposed to eat pigs, period. You know
and see, the interesting thing with that, traditionally, Puerto Ricans, we do eat a lot of pork. Okay. About 3 weeks to a month ago, I made myself a promise that I would quit consuming pork. And I have. It's really hard because it's something we eat like all the time. Okay, that's what we eat. You should know if you had a Puerto Rican children's mother.
No. All throughout the air in Puerto Rican neighborhoods, you can smell the pork and you can smell garlic. That's how you know where you are.
Yes.
When you start smelling that garlic, you're gonna get the garlic first. That's gonna hit you. You know, you just crossed into, you know, and that's like one of the main staples of food life in the Bronx is going to the cuchi fritos or going to the Spanish restaurants.
The cuchi frito, ay Dios mío.
Man, that's you know what I'm saying?
Los kioscos.
Habichuela, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
if you don't know no other Spanish, you know them 3 words: arroz, pollo, habichuela.
And I can make you guys the best rice with beans. Right? With white rice, with beans, and with chicken that you will ever have in your life. Okay? I am one of the best cooks you'll ever meet. and I need to get back to doing it. My schedule is no time.
Ladies, so. I'm sorry, I got to get out of here. I forgot. I see after 1. I'm late for another. So next week, Wednesday, same back time, same back.
Next week, Wednesday, you do this, Dr. Inky, and I want you guys to know Dr. Inky will be on Lunchtime with Ana every Wednesday. The show will be transitioning next week, and someone will take over for about a month. We're dealing with some things with the organization that I need to focus on and take some time off. But this person, I trust them like my right hand, like I trust Christy. It'll be fine. They're gonna take over. Dr. Inky will be having different topics. Please call me on whatever it is that you want to talk about next week. We'll make a flyer. Send me a picture of yourself and we'll make a flyer. Christy will do it and we'll be ready to go. And we will see you next week on Lunchtime with Ana.
But Ana, before we go, I do want to make an announcement. One announcement: my church, Community Outreach Ministries, we are doing a skip, which is Stop the Killing of Innocent People and Suicide Prevention Rally on June the 4th on MLK Drive. We're blocking that drive, the whole MLK off. So we're inviting everyone to come out. We will have Demetrius rapping. He is a gospel rapper, and he came up with a song called Skip. So that's where I got Skip from. So we want to stop the violence. We did have a young man. We had 2 young men, ages 24 and 25, that lost their life yesterday to violence. We're also having 4 of my child friends committed suicide just this year. So it is a problem. So my goal is to do this rally to bring recognition. I am also including Teen Challenge. I've also included the Sheriff's Office. We have also included Assist, who's going to be be there to speak. And Assist is those that give advice and knowing about the signs and symptoms of suicide and how to help when somebody prevents those signs. So please, if y'all can't make it out, please just support, pray that God will just move on our community, that it will be a very, 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 very great event. So this is done by me, as well as in October, we are doing a domestic violence when we see you. That is an announcement will come with where and when, but it's going to be October the 22nd, 2022. This is going to be an event in Georgia. We haven't decided just yet what part of Georgia, but it's going to be in Georgia.
Yeah. So Christy, I also want you to know, since that's an event that you're leading, anything that you need the organization support in, please count that you have We See You Human Justice support in it. With that being said, Dr. Inky, we love you much. We'll see you next week.
Everybody. Join up. Awesome /Dr. Inky. See y'all this weekend. Peace.
All right. God bless you. Bye. I'll see you next week. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Mommy. I'll see you this afternoon, actually. I'll see you this afternoon. Huh? We love y'all. Bye.